We at Raskrinkavanje.pa, Bosnian first fact-checking platform, did several fact checks regarding different types of Facebook scams. In most of the cases, we did, let's call them simple Facebook scams. When I say simple, I'm talking about recently created Facebook pages that will steal a picture from internet of, let's say, a kitchen, then publish that as a post saying that those first followers who hit the like button and share it with a friend will actually win, for example, a kitchen. In a country with a small income, it's not that's hard to believe that thousands of people would actually interact with that type of a game, then click a like and share, everything in order to win something for free. But in October 2020, we have received a letter from a reader saying that on Facebook there is an ongoing scam which used the name of Novak Djokovic, a popular tennis player from Serbia, where actually on that page is promised that Novak Djokovic will offer 5,000 euros to people who are watching his live video. We have tried to identify that Facebook page, but a few times actually we have failed because after that short live video is ended, the page got deleted almost like in a few seconds. But somehow we did manage to actually save and watch that video. So we managed to publish a fact check and it said that in October last year. And we believed that that was it, that we won't deal with the similar scam again. But in February this year, we have noticed that the same scam is like all over Facebook in Bosnia, Croatia, or Serbia. So we have decided that we need to do something that could help us to identify each page with each post where the similar scam is ongoing. So what we have did is that we use Facebook search and we use CrowdTangle search as well in a daily basis to track and identify those type of posts. We did it from February till the end of June of this year, and we managed to identify almost like 200 of those posts and different Facebook pages. What was their main goal of, let's call it, operation? They would create a page and then use the name of Novak Djokovic or Novak Djokovic Foundation. Then they will promise a live video to be premiered during the day or during the night, and they will just state somewhere that for those who comment, like and share the video, Novak Djokovic will provide 5,000 euros as a reward. Just for a context, Novak Djokovic is known as someone who supports charity actions and who provides a lot of money and different donations. So people were like pretty much easy to convince that something like that is happening. But what was the whole background? That live video actually was never live. People who created those pages, they steal Novak Djokovic's Instagram live posts, and then they will just use the lot of noise during that, so you couldn't actually hear what he's saying, and then just at certain point on the screen there's going to be explanation. Novak Djokovic will give you 5,000 euros, or in a comment section below you could find, if you want to receive 5,000 euros, please go to this website with the provided link. Of course, that link was a scam website where people are asked to leave their personal data and their bank account details. So those who did it probably got more and more problems. What we have also noticed that most of those Facebook pages, they did use Google Translate or some similar automatic translate, because that wasn't native Serbian or language from Bosnia or Croatia or Montenegro. And shortly after that, we have noticed that, for example, in February, in 1 week, we had like 50 of those pages identified. Then as we continuously reported them through the Facebook system and using our third-party status with Facebook for our fact checks, then we came to, let's say, one in 10 days. And then in June, at a certain point, it just stopped. But that wasn't only about Novak. The same group, actually, we believe that it was the same group. They did use another popular names from Serbia, Bosnia, and Croatia. They did use famous singer Jelena Rozga from Croatia. Then Marija Šerifović, she's a well-known singer from Serbia. They also used some Bosnian names such as Jala Koreli, who is extremely popular, especially with the young ones. They did the same as with Novak Djokovic. So they will steal some live video published on Instagram, then put it on a Facebook, and then promise that those who are actually clicking on that link are going to win some sort of the money. In most of the cases, that was the 5,000 euros. But we did our monitoring, and we managed to fact each of it day by day in order to prevent it and in order to just make them stop. So we had the actually similar as with Novak and other names. There was the time when there's going to be like 2 or 3 pages, then it will just raise up to 10 or 20 per day. But with the constant monitoring and with that combination of a Google search, Facebook search, and CrowdTangle search, we did manage to actually report them through the Facebook system and to mark them as false content. And eventually they decided to stop. So we managed to actually fight back and to use our everyday fact check work combined with this Facebook scam, not only to publish or to run fact check, but to help those people who were writing us on emails on Facebook saying, hey, look at this, there is a new scam, is this true, is this possible? We actually noticed that people in general are eager to believe that someone will give them money for nothing, and we have decided to just make that stop. So we do believe that when combining fact check and this type of scams, even if they are not regular misinformation, it could be extremely useful, and that readers would actually care, and they would know how to appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Nicolai Delebekk. I'm a journalist working for the Norwegian fact-checking organization Faktisk.no, and I'm here to share with you our work on 5 small documentaries about the terrorist attacks in Norway 22nd of July 2011. First, I really do want to say thank you to Global Facts for letting us come here and speak, and also for you guys in the audience for being interested in our work and letting us share it with you guys. Thank you so much. This year not only marks 20 years since the terrorist attacks on American soils, 9/11 2001, but also 10 years since the terrorist attacks in Norway. While the two attacks do share some similarities, they were both an attack on freedom and democracy. They both sought to spread fear and attack the existing political order. They were both carried out against innocent civilians. They also differ profoundly. Whereas the attacks in America were carried out by foreign-born nationals, foreign-born terrorists, killing 2,977. The attacks in Norway were carried out by a Norwegian terrorist, killing 77. While the attacks in America were completed with a jihadist anti-Western ideology, the attacks in Norway were motivated by almost the opposite, a far-right anti-Muslim neo-fascist ideology. But most importantly for us Norwegians, the attacks in America were carried out in America. The attacks in Norway, they were carried out in our small backyard shared by 5 million people. 10 years is a short time, but it is also a long time. Adult Norwegians remember everything about 22nd of July 2011, but for younger generations, the event has already become something from the distant past that is rarely spoken of. It wasn't until 2017 that teaching the attacks on July 22nd in school became mandatory, partly because the subject was too difficult for many teachers, and for many children, it was considered a subject too difficult to be taught. Now, everyone knew someone who were either lost or knew someone who had lost. Our mandate as a fact-checking organization is basically to spread facts. And in cooperation with THINK, or Think in English, our section working exclusively with schools, we decided to make a series of short documentaries made for children and young adults who need more knowledge and facts to understand what happened 22nd of July 2011. In a social landscape increasingly influenced by fake news and conspiracy theories, an informational vacuum surrounding one of the most formative but also awful events during the last 100 years, at least for us Norwegians, can have severe consequences, especially when that vacuum manifests itself among our youth, where conspiracies may flourish. We decided early that we would have to strip the events down to the basics, so what, where, when, and why. We also decided early that we had to choose which parts of the entire story we would present much in the same way as we would have done in an ordinary news story. It was important to transport the viewer 10 years back in time in an effort to capture the same emotions as the ones who remember the events had felt. So we split the series into 5 separate episodes: the bomb in Oslo, Utøya political youth camp, the life of the terrorist, his ideology, and how Norway as a nation responded to the attacks. We had the fortune that sources who were close to the events played key parts in each episode. So Nesnas and Christoffersen were both in the high-rise when the bomb struck.
Og så at det var en kar som hadde parkert bilen, og han forlot bilen og gikk ut, bort fra høyblokka. Vi fant den ikke på kamera, vi ringte rundt til resepsjonen rundt, og de hadde heller ikke sett han.
Når alle kom, ambulanser og politi og brandmenn og alt, så ble vi satt her, akkurat her hvor vi står nå. Sånn, jeg tror vi satt inntil noen av de søylene her.
Gunnaratnam were at the youth camp when the terrorists started shooting, and Gåsbakk was the officer who arrested the terrorist.
Mange av de vi forlot ble funnet her, ja. En av de var en jente jeg var mentor for, og var fra Groruddalen, Isabel. Så hun ble jo funnet opp på klærne mine.
Plutselig så står en mann med politiuniform foran oss på en 15-20 meter kanskje, som Breivik da, og står med hendene ut til hver side, og når han ser oss, så det første han sier at det ikke dere jeg ute etter, det ikke dere jeg skal ta, jeg ser på dere som kollegaer.
By taking these first-hand sources back to the location when they experienced, where they experienced the events of 22nd of July, and using archive footage to support the statements, we were able to bring the viewer back 10 years to the basic facts of what, where, and when. Although several sources were hesitant at first, the fact that it would be used in schools as educational material through THINK, the section working with schools, in addition to editorial use, was a strong factor in obtaining the best sources. It was also very important to answer the question of why. What makes a person take up arms against his own culture, killing children and bombing the government? Now, to answer this question is basically very, very hard, and in 15 minutes, pretty much impossible, seemingly impossible. We decided to make 2 episodes, so one on the terrorist's life and one on his ideology, and the process of prioritizing what to include and what to exclude was very difficult. It became evident that for children and young adults, it was important to give an insight into who the terrorist was as a teenager and as a young adult. The periods of his life the series covers in the most detailed way.
Og det var ikke mange flerkulturelle elever på RIS, men Anders var jo den som kanskje hadde egentlig liksom mest sånne venner og kontakter, fordi at han farta rundt på andre kanten av byen, på øst, og var i dette rap- og hiphop-miljøet, og på en måte hadde litt sånn hadde vi inntrykk av I hvert fall, en annen vennekrets.
All through the episode that surrounds his life, we chose to use images of the terrorists from a very early age, while also explaining the hardships he went through. We show his transition from a dysfunctional upbringing and neglect from child protective services to isolation and dissocial behavior as an adult. This by no means explains the attacks, but it does play a key role in the explanation. A major ethical dilemma for us, especially in this episode, was the amount of images we used, accompanied by a sad story of a faulty upbringing. Images of a young and psychologically scarred child fills the screen. A child that in a few years would kill 77 of his fellow countrymen and women. We landed on the fact that dehumanizing him by not showing who he was or where he came from would defeat the purpose of the documentaries. Every image used in the episode had also been in the public domain and easily accessible for several years. And as with this ethical dilemma, the need for information became decisive in many of the other ethical dilemmas we faced. In episode 2, we use images of teenagers swimming from the island while the terrorists still is shooting and killing others. In the first episode, we use bloody images of people hurt by the bomb. And in the last episode, we show Breivik's National Socialist salutes from the first day of court, and his smirk that came across his face when the judge read the sentence. All images that are extremely difficult to watch for some, especially those who are touched by the attacks. Now, in all these instances, we chose to be as honest as possible. For us adults, it happened in real time, and we watched it in real time. For our young ones to understand, they need to be shown the same images that we were when the events actually unfolded. More democracy, more openness, more love. If one man can show so much hate, imagine how much love 5 million people can show. These were words symbolizing the Norwegian response. But as time goes by, symbols and visions fade. It was important in the last episode's society's response to show how the nation came together, how a big part of the healing process was the nation's stance that he would not change one single thing with his acts.
Friheten sterkere enn frykten. I kveld gatene fylt av kjærlighet.
We believe the only way for our young adults and children to completely understand what happened 22nd of July 2011 and also the aftermath of the terrorist attacks is to be completely honest and bring them back to the events through raw facts and live images. In doing so, we hope to answer the questions young people have about 22nd of July for the first time. Because a national trauma is not something that is easily shared, but it's still very, very hard to not be a part of. And to prevent it from ever happening again, we first need to understand why it happened in the first place. Thank you very much.
Hello, fact checkers. I'm Denis Teyssou from Agence France-Presse AFP Medialab. I'm the founder of the Invid WeVerify plugin and the innovation manager of the WeVerify European project. I'm going to share with you the results, the main results for fact checkers of the WeVerify project with the new tools that we have incorporated into the verification plugin. So the WeVerify project started in December 2018, just when the previous Invid project was finishing. So our verification plugin is used worldwide now in 198 countries around the globe. You can see here the top 10 countries since the 1st of January until mid-September. France, United States, and India are the top countries. United States was third and came back in second position during the last American elections. And we see also that we have 4 Spanish-speaking countries, as the plugin is also available in Spanish, English, French, and now in Greek. So we are aiming to translate the plugin in more languages. So who is using the plugin? So we have in September reached the more than 50,000 users. You can see the progression here on the graphic with the since the very beginning of the We-Verify project. The plugin has been widely used during the pandemic and in each disputed election with a lot of disinformation. You can see on the curve also some decrease at some times, which are basically the Christmas and summer break. So when we are doing surveys, we have a lot of fact checkers, obviously, but also journalists and human rights defenders, teachers and scholars dealing with media literacy and teaching information verification to their students, but also NGOs and government organizations who are using the plugin when they need to debunk fake images or fake videos. So the new tools that we are bringing to this new version of the verification plugin are, first of all, the assistant. So the assistant is a tool aiming to help end users to find out the suitable tools that can be used to verify pictures, videos, or any kind of information in the web pages. So this assistant is linked to a series of different services, like a credibility service, like recognizing fact-checking services, recognizing disinformation, well-known assets. This assistant has been enhanced also to try to find out the links, images links and video links, which are sometimes buried inside the code. So for example, you may, through the assistant, retrieve links for Instagram or TikTok videos, or even Facebook videos. And those links allow you, for instance, to play the video in a new tab, sometimes to download the video and to use it in keyframes afterwards. So it is a rather complete tool that helps you to enhance the plugin and to widen the scope of videos and images that you can use, and to get assistance in your verification task. Then we bring as an enhanced tool upon registration the first module of social network analysis. This one is based on Twitter. This module allows you to, on a keyword, on an hashtag, on a URL, to see who is sharing this kind of topics. And so we have first a propagation timeline, then a series of graphics also showcasing the most retweeted users, the most liked users, the most mentioned. Then we have also some charts, like the bubble chart of top 100 most active accounts, so you can detect coordinated inauthentic behavior, whether the accounts, which are here classified by account creation data, have been created on purpose for a particular disinformation campaign. You can see the reach of this campaign through the most active users, through the y-axis here with the number of followers. You can check immediately visually between rumbles for verified accounts and points for the others, who are the most prominent sharers of this kind of disinformation campaign. Then we have a co-reference graph of hashtags, where you can see in your corpus, in the corpus that you have retrieved from your initial query and a keyword hashtag or URL, which are all the hashtags which are shared within this corpus of tweets. Then we have a social semantic graph, which highlights a relationship between content and actors within the network. between the mentions, between the URL sharing, the most retweeted accounts, the most replied. Then we have also this automated word cloud where every word is clickable, and you can retrieve very precisely the tweets that are linked to some particular keywords. For example, if you want to dig into the disinformation campaign. So the database of non-fakes is designed to help you to find out whether some particular content has already been debunked somewhere by some fact checker, and that somebody is trying to resurface this kind of disinformation. In that case, we are using the fake picture of Osama bin Laden, and we just first search by similarity search on different well-known search engines like Google, Yandex, or Bing. All those search engines at the time of making this video, all those search engines were relating the picture with the death of Osama bin Laden. And in fact, this picture is a well-known fake, which comes from a Ridley Scott movie called Black Hawk Down, and it is a tampered image, which was already debunked. And here we store in the database of non-fake this kind of evidence, and just for you to be able, through similarity search, like on the main search engines, to find out whether this particular image has been already used in another context. And here you can see that you immediately get back the information about this particular picture and the debunking, in fact, of this picture. So the idea is that for fact checkers to give you a much quicker answer, and for you to be able to debunk immediately something which has been already flagged by some fact checkers as a disinformation item. Here we go back so to the Snoop site, which was debunking in 2011 this particular image with a side-to-side comparison between the both images. Then we have another feature, a new feature, which is an optical character recognition in images for still images with banners, but also for memes. So the idea is that you can extract text from the images just to get back this text if you want to, for example, translate it in another language, if you are covering an overseas event. And for the memes, it's also possible to extract the text and maybe to go and search on different search engines. Our tool is experimental. So far it is basically working on Latin script, but we are going to enhance it in the next month to cover more non-Latin languages. And to help you in this task of character recognition in images, we have added also a couple of buttons to the two search engines that are providing similar services of OCR, which are the Russian Yandex and Bing from Microsoft. So you have seen all the latest features that we have implemented already, and we have some more even coming from, for example, from the IFCN project NVisu4, which are covered in another video. All those tools are already integrated in the verification plugin since mid-September. If you want to reach us, so we welcome very much any kind of feedback from the fact-checking community. So for any bug, issue with any content you may have, a video that doesn't work, or some image you are not able to process, for any improvement suggestion, you can reach us through the feedback mechanism. You have the feedback mechanism here on the screen. You just click on the feedback button and this menu will deploy, and you just have to fill in whether your feedback type is from it's a bug or a bug report, an improvement, or a need for a new feature, for example. Do not forget to leave your email address if you expect any answer from our side, and alternatively you can reach us as well on Twitter. So thank you for your attention. So I hope that the new InVid We Verify plugin will be useful in your fact-checking task, and feel free again to reach us in order to give any kind of feedback.
Hello everyone, I hope all of you are safe and are doing well. I'm the product lead with Logically, and I drive the fact check product suite for the company. In today's session, I'm going to talk to you about how AI-assisted fact-checking can benefit newsrooms, and I will show you what kind of products we have built to help newsrooms in their automatic fact-check process. So before we start, I think it's worthwhile to reflect that artificial intelligence is currently predominant in a lot of sectors. Like if you would see in marketing or in banking or e-commerce, or finance sector, there are a lot of places where companies or organizations have adopted using artificial intelligence to scale up their work. When it comes to newsrooms, right now as well, there are a lot of operational that has already been adopted with the use of AI. But when it comes to fact checking, there's still a lot of areas where it needs improvement, because for the past few years, fact checks started with a lot of manual fact checks where people would do like a manual verification or go to a specific place or call specific people in order to verify if a particular content which is floating is true or false. So what AI could do is AI could scale that process and would help newsrooms in providing a platform or a kind of assistant tool for their automatic fact check process. So before I would start speaking about today's topic, for any one of you who don't know what Logically is, we are a tech company or a social enterprise, I could say, where we use advanced AI along with human intelligence to debunk misinformation and prevent online harm. So we have a large fact check team who helps us in providing the fact check services. And we also combine our human intelligence capabilities with the AI pipelines that we have built. And together, as an amalgamation of both human in the loop plus our AI advanced technology, we try to provide access to the world's best of the information related to the fact checks and provide an AI assistant to newsrooms where they could automatically fact check on the go. Just to discuss a brief about what reporters and newsrooms want and need. Now, definitely all of us know that reporters offer the newsrooms the speed of reporting, and the timelines definitely matters. There's so many things that happens at a pace of an eye, and we feel that how we could make sure that the amount of information that is floating across social media, we can keep ourselves upbeat to that, and how AI could help us to filter out all of these misinformation noise that is floating around and help us to provide information that is legit and valid. Now, coming to analysis of all these information that is again being shared online, how do we determine which is a credible source and worth of believing, and which are the ones that we should definitely disregard? Now, for any human to manually verify each of it becomes very difficult. So that's where AI comes into picture. So with this session today, I'll give you a brief overview about our AI pipelines. And I would also want to say, with our partnerships, we have recently partnered with Facebook and TikTok as their fact-checking partner, where we're also providing a support in terms of fact-checking the massive content that's again being shared across these platforms. Cool. Quickly talking about our AI models, just to give you a glimpse of to the background that how things work. I would start with sentiment analysis. Now, what this pipeline does, it provides insights into how the particular content that you are consuming, it is perceived to the user. So any content that you consume, we tell you that this content looks toxic, or there are a lot of labels that we have created for finding the sentiment of a particular content piece that is being shared online, and we try to give you all of these credible contents and take out all these non-credible ones. Next comes our credibility analysis, which talks about that any information that again we consume online, not all URLs, as I mentioned, not all companies or agencies, they are all publishing content that is right. There are a lot of organizations that deliberately spread misinformation. So we, with the help of our AI and absolute NLP models, we have tried to segregate all of these links in a way that we tell you if this particular content that you're consuming is actually coming from a high credible source, or is a low credible or a medium credible. So this definitely helps to understand, again, that the information that we consume online, how it is going to be affecting to the user. So this particular pipeline does help in that scope. We have another pipeline that we see as research assistant, and that gets you access to only relevant information from the web. For example, today as a newsroom or a reporter, if you want to fact check a particular information, you would go to any search engine and try to look up for that information online and try to see what all people are talking about, what kind of information is shared across by multiple channels for that particular topic. What this research assistant does is it does the job of literally parsing through the entire millions of web content that's available specific to what you are looking for, and it creates a filter that definitely removes all these non-credible sources, all the noise, and just provides you highly credible content for you to consume specific to the topic that you're searching. It works really great. Again, that saves a lot of time for newsrooms rather than you going and searching in multiple search engines and evaluating which is right, which is wrong, what to believe and what to reject. This particular research assistant does that job for you. You just have to input a specific URL to know if it's true or false, or if you have to input a specific set of text, and this particular pipeline does the job of doing the search across the search engines which is available and passes through millions of web content, which is like kind of very time taking for individuals manually to do that job. A bit about claim worthiness analysis when we talk about this particular pipeline. For a newsroom, it works great because we always are in the go of coming with nice, or I would say trending topics that we have to publish. And sometimes we don't know that which particular content is fact check worthy, which content is kind of trending in the market and people are talking about it and people would be interested to take a look. So what this claim worthiness analysis or this particular pipeline does, it provides us a list of news or stories those are worthy of a fact check. So you get a chance to see all of these information across the globe, which are trending, which are kind of being spoken about between the communities, and you get a chance to see it firsthand. And next coming is about the forensic media, and this covers image, video, and audio. In the recent times, we have heard that video and audio fact check is definitely one of the requirements which a lot of companies do seek. And we are trying to build systems that we could rely upon. And when I say systems, it's the AI-powered systems that we can rely upon in terms of fact-checking audio and video content. And we also do it for images, where we deploy reverse image search, as well as a lot of OCR pipelines, where we could let you know that if a particular image is morphed, or what are the areas in a particular image that has been highly edited. And then with OCR, we are able to let you know that how you have to fact check if it's a textual image. Perfect. To give everybody a wrap about end-to-end fact-checking with AI. When I say end-to-end, I talk about giving you access to an AI assistant for automatic fact-checking. It goes through all of these processes that, as you would see, it goes with the first layer of claim extraction. Then it would go for claim clustering, where we would cluster semantically same claims that would have already been fact-checked by other organizations. Then we have a pipeline for fact matching. What it does, it keeps the input of all of these information that you want to seek, and it gives you results of the fact checks that has been done either biologically or by any other IFCN certified credible sources. And then, as I already spoke about evidence retrieval, it acts as a search assistant for you that parses through all the articles on the web and gives you credible sources. Then next we have got the Veracity Labeling, which we are definitely working right now, where the system itself is intelligent enough to detect basing on the past experiences and the learnings that it would have got from all of the sources. It would give a verdict whether the current information that you are reviewing is actually true, false, or misleading. And definitely we cannot forget the human in the loop factor. Even when it comes to AI, we would have a dedicated team to help cater to any noise and make sure that we give you the absolute correct results in regards to your fact check. This is another example that I wanted to share with all of you today regarding the live fact-checking during the US presidential debate. And that was a massive success. And we deployed our OCR pipelines and speech-to-text pipeline, where we were able to parse an information live when they were speaking and convert all of those voice or the speech into text, and were able to fact-check with the help of the AI live during the presidential debate. So with this, what we realized as this pilot project project we did run, and it was a massive success again, we realized that the time consumed in fact-checking a particular claim would take us manually would take us close to 2 hours. But with the use of AI and all these pipelines amalgamated together, we were able to do the same job within 15 minutes. And this is a massive improvement, like a 80% reduction to the time that we spent manually fact-checking something which would have happened in the past or would be happening in a trending time now. With this particular help, how it could be leveraged to newsrooms is newsrooms will always have an AI assistant. Like say you have a fact-check robot with you if you want to have any information quick and want to know if this particular content has already been fact-checked. If yes, what is the kind of story points or what is the kind of conclusion that has been given to this particular content? What is the verdict being shared by many other organizations? And next, how do I take my decision in terms of reporting this particular content henceforth? I'll try to show you the tool live so that you get an understanding of all of these descriptions that I've given and the basis of this presentation. Let me do that. Okay, so this is how the tool looks. And whenever you come over here, we have the section where it talks about the latest fact-check worthy news, where I was talking about the claim worthiness pipeline that gives you the top stories every day. It's being refreshed every 30 minutes. Top stories of the day, which are trending and worthy of a fact-check. We also have a section that talks about the trends or the posts which are trending in social media, and we try to showcase any of these false information that is being shared online in social media so that you can better refrain from believing those kind of contents. Right now, I have just integrated Twitter, but we could also do with other multiple platforms where we could tell you that a particular post could look positive, but in reality it's negative, and that analysis is being given to you here. And we also have a section that talks about the latest fact checks that has been done biologically. We would have a section that gives you an access to that. So this tool acts as a CRM for newsrooms, which they can use day in and out in order to quickly get access to our AI pipeline to have automatic fact checks right at the fingertips. And they could also get a chance to collaborate with our internal fact check members, where if they want a specific fact check to be done, we could definitely be willing to help them with that regards. So to quickly show you about what I was talking about, the pipeline is something like this, that you have to input a URL. For example, I'll take this. I have it copied here. I'll take this URL. Give me a minute. So what this does, as an input, I gave an URL, and this claim extraction pipeline did extracted content from the URL. It was available in big paragraphs, whatever was mentioned in that particular content. This pipeline would extract the content from the URL, and it would give you in terms of radio button to select what exact information from that article you want us to fact check. So for example, I would take this and I will hit on investigate. The fact finder did return results immediately that talked about this particular content that you selected to fact check. If it's already been done, yes, it's been done, and it's been given the verdict as false, and a lot of results, that's a conclusion, and a reference link has also been shared. We could take a look, and yes, it's been already shared in this particular space, and it's all coming from the credible source. So we have it in here. And then coming to evidence finder, we also found that there are 5 credible sources that has been reported for this particular content that you could refer to immediately and make your readings so that you can know that this is what is the right content that I'm consuming, and I've filtered all of these other noise which is across the web that's being spread. So you get a chance to refer to these information live immediately, and then take the decision that you have to go ahead with your investigation and publish your report. In case you still need assistance in terms of fact checking and understanding a bit, we always have an option to request a fact check with our team. Coming next, I want to show you how do we fact check an image. That was for the URL that we did run all these pipelines, but with the image, the process is again kind of simple, where we have deployed our OCR pipeline and a lot other deep fake and image fact check pipelines that works in a similar fashion. So I've just uploaded an image to the platform. This is the submitted image, as you could see. And immediately, as you could see, this is a textual image, like the image has got text in it. So therefore, the OCR pipeline, what it will do, it will parse in this information from the image and will provide us claims to select that what exactly from this image we want to fact check. So you could literally fact check a particular content from the image. In the right side, as you see the analyzed image, we show you if this image has been morphed or if this image has been heavily edited and what are the section which has been edited. So if you see the ones which is highlighted in red are the ones which are being morphed or have been edited. And coming to the next, this particular image, if I would want to just take a look at this particular section that I want to fact check, I'll just simply select this radio button and I'll click on investigate claim. So immediately again, the same pipelines will run and will give us results. As you can see, for Fact Finder, we're getting the information as whatever we just saw. As for this image is actually misleading, and one of the organization had it's accurate as a label. And if you want, you could definitely take a read about this information in another tab. When you click it, it will just land you to the credible source where they would have given the verdict about it. Like, if it's misleading, what is the verdict and what is the conclusion regarding that? Now, coming to the evidence finder, we have also found few URLs. As I mentioned, that evidence finder removes all the noise and provides you access to only credible content across the web to consume. So this particular pipeline did run and gave you more insights of what are the organization that has already reported something similar to what we tried to fact check from this image and what we could derive as results. So we can take information from here and then continue with our analysis in order to fact check. And if we don't want to do it by ourselves, we can anytime, request fact check to the team internally who would be more than happy to do that for us. Now, the way we did for images, the same concept lies for audio and video fact check, where we have to definitely deploy what the person is speaking in that particular audio or video and then derive insights from it and then be able to fact check. I'll show you a quick video where you could take a understanding of how video fact check or audio fact check would work, so that that will help you to get an understanding the kind of API pipelines that we are building.
Good morning, my friends. Look at that. The nurse has already been fired for refusing to get the vaccine, even though she already had COVID. The nurse didn't need to be vaccinated. But look at that. Houston Methodist Hospital has confirmed that 150 employees have been terminated or resigned since a judge dismissed their lawsuit. Have a great day.
Well, that is it I had for today. I hope it was insightful enough for you to have some takeaway how AI could be used in this automated fact check process. So if you're more intrigued to know more about how we are doing it, please follow us in all of these social media handles that you see in the screen right now. If you want to reach out to me, please do email at social@logically.co.uk, and you can also reach out to me over LinkedIn, and I could be happy to share with you all these insights that we are building. My name is Sangeeta Patnaik, and I thank you so much for watching.